Most people think Amazon became one of the world's biggest companies because it made brilliant decisions. Well, it didn't. Amazon has failed repeatedly. It has launched products nobody wanted, shut down projects that cost billions, spent years building ideas that never worked. If success only belonged to people who never made mistakes, Amazon wouldn't exist. So, why does it keep winning? Because while other companies change their behavior after every setback, Amazon protects one thing above everything else, a rule it almost never breaks. The strange part is, nature discovered that same rule millions of years before Amazon ever existed, and every great trader eventually learns it, usually after losing a lot of money. People love existing stories, the bold decision, the risky investment, the dramatic comeback. But lasting success is rarely dramatic. It's repetitive, quiet, almost boring. Look at the market. Most traders wake up every morning looking for something new, a new indicator, a new strategy, a new prediction, a new shortcut. They believe the next discovery will finally change everything. But the professionals aren't searching for something new every week. They are repeating something that already works again and again and again. That's exactly what separates a wolf from the herd. A herd reacts, a wolf repeats. When food becomes scarce, the herd panics. The wolf doesn't suddenly invent a completely different way of hunting. It trusts the system that has kept it alive for generations. Sometimes the hunt succeeds, sometimes it fails. The process stays the same. That's difficult for humans to understand because we confuse movement with progress. Changing something feels productive, even when it makes everything worse. Think about the average trader after three losing trades. The strategy changes, the indicators change, the risk changes, the rules disappear. Nothing stays consistent long enough to prove whether it actually worked. Now imagine building a £1 billion business that way. You couldn't. Amazon couldn't either, because the greatest companies don't build success on motivation. They build it on systems. And that's where the first real connection appears, not between Amazon and business, between Amazon and the wolf. The difference between ordinary companies and extraordinary ones isn't that one makes fewer mistakes, it's that one makes fewer emotional decisions. Think about Amazon for a moment. Every quarter, millions of people analyze its earnings. Every product launch is judged. Every setback becomes tomorrow's headline. Yet, inside Amazon, the question isn't how do we make people feel confident today? It's does the system still make sense? Those are two completely different ways of thinking. One chases approval, the other protects the process. The market asks traders the same question every single day. One losing trade, and suddenly doubt appears. Three losing trades. Now the strategy feels broken. Five losing trades. Now YouTube has a new perfect strategy waiting for you. Notice what changed. Not the market, not necessarily your edge, your emotions. Most traders don't abandon their systems because the systems stop working. They abandon them because uncertainty becomes uncomfortable. That's exactly what the herd does. The moment conditions become difficult, the herd starts searching for another direction, another leader, another answer. The wolf doesn't. Not because it's stubborn, because it understands something the herd doesn't. A system can produce bad outcomes without becoming a bad system. That's a lesson almost nobody learns. Flip a fair coin 10 times. You might get 6 losers in a row. That doesn't mean the coin has stopped being fair. Trading works the same way. A profitable strategy can experience a painful losing streak. A terrible strategy can look brilliant for a week. If you judge your system by short term emotions, you will destroy it before probabilities have time to work. Amazon understands this better than most companies. One failed product doesn't change the company's operating principles. One disappointing quarter doesn't rewrite decades of disciplined decision making. The system survives because the system is bigger than today's result. Now, watch a wolf during a difficult hunt. Hours can pass without success. Energy is spent. Opportunities disappears. The easiest decision would be to panic, to run faster, to chase everything that moves. But that usually ends with exhaustion, not food. The wolf survives because it refuses to confuse activity with effectiveness. That might be the biggest mistake traders make. They think more trades mean more opportunities. More indicators mean more certainty. More changes mean more improvement. Usually, the opposite is true. The more you interfere with a proven system, the less likely it is to protect you when conditions become difficult. There is another reason most traders never become wolves. They fall in love with outcomes instead of discipline. Winning feels addictive, losing feels personal. So they begin measuring themselves trade by trade. A profitable day means they are talented. A losing week means they have lost their edge. But that's not how systems work. A system isn't judged by one result, it is judged by thousands. That's why Amazon never wakes up asking, "Did we win yesterday?" It asks, "Did we execute the system correctly?" Because yesterday is history, the system is the future. That's a completely different mindset. Imagine two traders. Both use the exact same strategy. The first trader follows every rule. He takes every setup. He respects his risk. After 10 trades, he's down. The second trader becomes emotional after 2 losses. He skips one trade, doubles his position on another, moves his stop loss, gets lucky. After 10 trades, he's up. Who is actually becoming a better trader? Most people would choose the second one. The wolf always chooses the first because the first trader improved something that compounds his process. The second trader improved nothing. He simply survived by chance. The market has a cruel habit. It often rewards bad behavior and punishes good ones, at least in the short term. That's why discipline feels so difficult. Reality doesn't always give immediate feedback. Nature works the same way. A young wolf doesn't become a great hunter because one hunt succeeds. it becomes a great hunter because every hunt teaches the same habits. Move quietly, stay patient, wait for the highest probability moment, protect your energy. Those behaviors don't guarantee today's meal. They increase the chances of survival over a lifetime. Trading is no different. Your goal isn't to make this trade profitable. Your goal is to become the kind of trader who can still be profitable after the next thousand trades. That's a completely different objective. Amazon understands this. The company wasn't built quarter by quarter, it was built principle by principle, decision after decision, year after year. Most people admire Amazon's size. Very few admire its consistency. But consistency created the size, not the other way around. The same is true for every wolf. People notice the results. They rarely notice the habits that produced them. And that's why the crowd keeps searching for better strategies, while wolves keep protecting better systems. Think about the companies that disappear. Most of them don't fail because they lack intelligence. They fail because they abandon their principles the moment pressure arrives. One bad quarter and the strategy changes. A competitor launches something new and they panic. Customers complain and they forget what made them successful in the first place. The crowd calls that adaptation. Sometimes it's just fear wearing a smarter name. Amazon has changed thousands of products. It has entered new industries. It has invented entirely new businesses. But underneath all of those changes, its operating principles have remained remarkably consistent. The system evolves, the principles don't. That's exactly how a wolf survives. A wolf doesn't hunt rabbits today, deer tomorrow, fish the next day simply because yesterday's hunt failed. It adjusts to reality, but it never abandons the instincts that have kept the pack alive for generations. That's the balance extraordinary traders eventually discover. Adapt your execution, never abandon your principles. Those are not the same thing. The crowd confuses flexibility with inconsistency. The wolf never does. Every morning, the market gives you another opportunity to betray your own system. One emotional trade, one impulsive decision, one moment of impatience. It seems small, but systems aren't destroyed all at once. They are destroyed one exception at a time. That's why consistency is so powerful. Not because it's exciting, because it's difficult. Anyone can follow a system after five winning trades. A wolf follows it after five losing trades. That's the real test. Amazon never became extraordinary because every decision succeeded. It became extraordinary because it refused to rebuild its identity after every setback. The same is true in trading. Your edge isn't found in the strategy you discover next month. It's found in the discipline to execute the one you've already proven. That's the rule most traders spend years trying to find, even though it has been in front of them the whole time. Wolves have a name for it. The second wolf law. Protect the system. Because emotions change, markets change, technology changes. Even the strongest companies change. But if your principles survive, you will too. If you want to trade like the top 1%, stop chasing the next strategy. Start becoming the kind of person who never breaks the system. Become the wolf. Join the pack.